and she brought the career advice. Now sit back and relax while you get advice that will take you to the next destination in your career or business. And now, Katrina Brittingham. Hello, hello, hello. It's Katrina Brittingham, your navigator on your road to success, with another episode of High Tea with me. And it is the first of the month. So, guess what that is? Our love topic. Our love
Love
topic.
is in the
In
air.
order to make comments that will show up on the screen, what we need from you is to go to facebook.com/venture ready. The show is playing there too. If you're on my personal site, if you're on Doctor's Love personal site, if you go to ventureready.com, your comments will be noted and may show up on the screen. So I just wanted to let you know that. So sit back and relax. And we have my lovely, handsome co host, Dr. Love.
Hello. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Miss Katrina, how are you?
Fantabulous.
Fantabulous. All right. You look fantabulous. I noticed you're sporting a new head wrap kind of thing going. It looks good. I like that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, they say variety is the spice of life. So
Yes.
good to have a little variety
And some spice.
and some spice. That would be nice. Yes, indeedy. So tonight is the love topic.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Are we ready?
I'm ready. You know you take the reins on the love topic.
All right. Well, give me the range. We I had a thing in a salon where women would come in, my clients would come in, and when it came down to drying African American hair, which is curly hair, I had a certain system. I learned in order to dry hair, the first thing you had to do was remove the moisture. So I would take my clients out of the shampoo and out of the conditioner after they moisturize, and I would just put them under the dryer to start drying the moisture out of the hair. Because if you start drying hair with the moisture in the hair, you're really beating the hair.
Hmm.
And hair is a textile; it's a fine fabric. And I was training my clients. We treat hair like it's a textile, a fine fabric. So one lady was in there. Well, it was probably like her first time coming, and I put her under the dryer. She said, "Wait a minute." She said, "Wait a minute. You don't know how my hair stands up." I said, "I know." She said, I mean, she fought me for a while before she let me put her under the dryer. So my
Hmm.
statement was to my clients, I said, "Now listen, I know you know your hair, but around here in World of Hair Studio, I wear the pants."
Okay.
I said, "I wear the pants." So after a while, my clients came in when I would give them service. They said, "Listen, Ed, you wearing the pants today, all right? Until you mess up."
Until you mess up.
Until you mess
That's
up.
right.
So that was the saying. So today, you giving me the reins to handle this thing, and I'll do my best.
All right.
Okay. So today's topic, I was contemplating on what to do, and my book has been out for a while, but I said I would like to just read the back blurb of the book because that's something that I don't do too often, and I know I haven't done it on this show, but I think it would be good to get this in the hearing of our listeners tonight, and then we're going to build on it from there. How does that sound? Does that sound pretty
Sounds
good?
awesome.
All right. All right, listeners, are you ready? Listeners, how was your day today? Good day today? Did anyone comment?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Okay, well, good, good. Well, you did the right thing. You gave them the information, okay? So listen at this. This is the blurb on the back of my book, and it reads as this. This may be the first time you're hearing Dr. Love has reinvented the woman. With the information in his brand new book, women can now have what she has only hoped for until now. In his new book entitled Three Things Every Woman Needs to Know About a Man, Dr. Love imparts to women the science of love, the chemistry of passion, and the power of persuasion. All of his insight and information stems from 30 years as a cosmetologist, over 40 years of marriage, and navigating his three daughters' life, love through their college experience, not to mention life with five sisters, 5 years of research and study while writing this book. With this new information, we can now help women locate the blind spots in her life, her love, and her relationships. These blind spots have kept her from shifting out of her old paradigm and gaining insight that perhaps have eluded her until now. There's a power lying dormant within. When she discovers it, this resource guide will be key in helping the process. Dr. Love has been blessed with a fruitful, satisfying marriage, producing 5 children, 6 grandchildren through his relationship with his mother and his wife and his 3 daughters. He has learned that a woman must know her value. This workbook is a guide to equip her for love, for life, forever.
Yes.
Okay. So I thought it would be good to begin to share that with women because a lot of women don't know that when I looked at this thing and I went back and forth with it, I said it for the first time. I said, Dr. Love has reinvented the woman. They said, what? Yes, to reinvent the woman. You know, nothing has been around as long as water. And as you know, water has been reimagined, reinvented. I mean, you can buy bottled water, you can buy spring water, you can buy flavored water, you can buy smart water, you can buy, I mean, water has been reimagined.
Mm-hmm.
So for the woman, Dr. Love has reinvented by reimagining the woman and equipping her with the science of love, the chemistry of passion, and the power of persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So tonight, our topic, we're going to talk tonight. We're going to give you this talking point, and it's this here. Can we take a spin?
Can we take a spin?
Can we take a spin? Miss Katrina, you ready to go for a spin? Can we take a spin?
Yes. You made me want to spin around in my chair. I'm not going to do it though.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about it. Can we take a spin? I say, honey, can we take a spin? As long as we don't spin out.
That's right.
Okay. And the reason I got that because in my mind, and if you have any questions, any comments, let me know. In my mind, I always liken the relationship to the console panel in a car. When you get in your car, those of us who have cars or trucks or we drive, you notice in your car when you get in your car, you have parking, reverse, neutral, drive, and then you have two and one, which you can shift your car manually. Okay, that's what the one is. You go from one to two and then into drive. Drive is your third. That's your third speed. So sometimes you have to, if you have a trailer on your car, or if you're pulling any weight, it's best to start in your low gear and then shift one, two, and three. So the reason that is so important because I remember I was teaching this in one of the workshops and I said to the angels of love, and that's what I call all single women, angels of love. I said to the angels of love, I said, no matter where you are in your relationship, no matter what you have gone through in your relationship, no matter what you're dealing with in your relationship, I said, you can always, and I underline always, you can always hit reverse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that one more time. No matter where you are in your relationship, no matter how long you've been in your relationship, no matter what you're dealing with in your relationship, no matter what's transpiring in your relationship, you can always hit the shift of the car and you can go into reverse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I said to the angels, I said, sometime in life and sometime in relationships, you will have to admit to yourself, I, I'm driving this car. I done
Mm-hmm.
went too far, too fast, too soon. And honey, I'm fixing to hit reverse. I'm fixing to hit reverse. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm fixing to hit reverse. You know, and that is so important and it's so liberating because one of the angels came up to me and this was brought to my attention several times. He said, Dr. Love, you always said you can always hit reverse because sometime in a relationship you need to hit reverse. Sometime you need to be in park. Sometime the relationship is driving. Sometime you hit a relationship, you're in neutral. You say, I just really don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do this. I would like to do this, but it seems like, and you really don't know what to do. That's the reason I read the caption on the book because at the end of it, it said a woman. I realized that a woman must know her value.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Notice I didn't say guess her value.
That's right.
Okay. I didn't say estimate her value. Okay. I didn't say wonder about her value. A woman must know her value. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I added to it. I added two more other things. A woman must know her value. She must internalize her value and she must demonstrate her value.
Mm-hmm.
And when she hit reverse, she said, what she's saying is somebody ain't valuing me up in here.
That's right.
Ain't a whole lot of value flowing up in here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how you drive, Miss Katrina, but when I'm about to reverse, I throw my hand up on the back of that seat, baby. I get a certain way like this here. I get a certain way like this here, because my kids know. They said, listen, when he backing up, I could back up the whole block. When I hit reverse, I could come down the whole street and turn the corner and reverse. That's kind of, I've been driving for a while. I hit reverse like this, baby. I mean, all the way down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I done drove up into something that I gotta reverse out of.
That's so insightful. Um, to know that you can reverse. Sometimes people just keep going straight, 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 keep going forward when they need to take some step back or reverse the car, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
They say, okay, wait a minute, we gotta go back to that thing. that thing back there that we just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that we
Mm-hmm.
just kept moving through. We gotta go back
Mm-hmm.
to that.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
that I love that, the fact that you can do that.
The car was
Uh,
doing this while we was going over it.
right. We gotta go back. Wait a minute, we
We
hit
kept
that
we
bump.
kept driving. Mm-hmm.
We gotta go back. I like that, and I like the fact when you was like, know your value, um, and basically put your value, out there. Like, know your value and hold on to those standards of your values.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing. Um, and I don't know. Since I started doing this show, I don't know if they just Google just has me. Because when we started doing the love topics, I started getting all of these love gurus in my feed for YouTube. There's this show plays on YouTube too.
Mm-hmm.
So just to let everybody know, it plays on YouTube, it plays on my Facebook, it plays on Dr. Love's Facebook, his YouTube, it plays on LinkedIn, and also we don't do Instagram. I think it was Twitter or whatever Twitter turned into, whatever that is. It
Okay.
plays on those platforms, and I really feel like that because it plays there, the algorithm came in. Google owns YouTube. That now all of these relationship gurus come up into my timeline,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll tell a woman all kinds of things like, "Oh well, your standards are too high. um you're a 5 or a 2, or so you need to settle for this type. You're not going to get this type of man." um so it's holding on to those values, because it was like, wow, these are the relationship experts. And I was like, that's one of the things. That's why Dr. Love is the co-host, because he does not tell women that they're too old or anything like that. And that is a big thing, because it's so hard for a woman to hold on to that, what her value is, and her standards in the way things are out there. And I know we go over that because we talked about the media, but these are experts telling
Mm-hmm.
women to, oh well, this basically telling them what they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, your standards are too high. And I've seen relationship gurus that had attractive women on there.
Mm-hmm.
um and to me, we're attractive, period.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And everything like that, we are, and everything like that. It doesn't matter whether you're big, you're small, whatever. You're attractive. You were made to be attractive to men. that's
That's right.
that's just the way um we were created.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see any other species on this planet that is going up to their opposite sex and saying, "You not good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're too old." You don't see that,
Mm-hmm.
because the female version was made for the male version.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, you go for the whole thing of, oh, pressure, standards, and I'm not attracted to you. Okay, well, you're not. There's somebody out there that is. But
Mm-hmm.
don't tell me, things about the standards and stuff like that. I like stuff like, and like I said, I don't know if it was just this week, but I got at least three
Mm-hmm.
relationship gurus
Mm-hmm.
on there telling women, of all ages, shapes, sizes, whatever the industry standard, whatever. Oh well, you're really this. Or even if they find them really beautiful, they're still saying, oh well, your standards, or whatever the standard is too high and it's unrealistic, and this. And yes, there's a such thing as being unrealistic, but not when you're saying that you want somebody that can love you, support you, take care of you, whatever. Because there are certain principles that are inherent, that's even in the Bible. If you believe in God or whatever religious thing you do, inherently a man is supposed to protect and provide. That's just the standard.
Mm-hmm.
And so when women are talking about standards of protection, standards of providing, and they might not say protect or provide, but you can tell what they're saying means that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're upset because this woman wants to be, provided for. Yeah, I can have an income. I can have actually a great income, a decent income, but you're still supposed to provide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That doesn't change anything.
that's right. You know, Ms. Katrina, can we set the record straight tonight and make sure we set up proper protocol on our show? Instead of calling relationship gurus, let's call them relationship wannabes. Can we- can we-
Relationship wannabes. Wow.
it has to be a relationship wannabe because that's why I'm just not Dr. Love. I'm Ed Johnson, aka Dr. Love, Doctor the Real Deal Love. It's the real
The
deal,
real deal.
real deal. Now, let me tell you why I said that. The reason I say that is because I'm always looking to connect with women and talk with women. So I talked with a woman. I sent her a message, and a woman said to me, she said, before I can recommend you to another woman, and listen, this is the list she gave me. She says, one, I have to know that one, you are a man of God and a man of principle. She said,
Mm-hmm.
you got to know that you don't have a bone to pick with your mother. You don't have a woman problem with women, with your mother. Your mama wasn't there. Your daddy wasn't there. You got mama daddy issues.
Mm-hmm.
One, you are in a successful relationship of your own with yourself and with your wife. Are you successfully married? You know what I'm saying? With with a woman that you're happy with. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Are she said, are you capable of speaking into a woman's life? Do you have a sense of humor? I mean, she gave me a list of things that she said, before I can recommend to you someone, I need to know all these things are in place. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when we finished rapping, she said, I can recommend you. Okay. Because I'm not a relationship wannabe.
And see, that's the thing. That's why even in the last show we did, Love, I went through your credentials on here.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the questions were, are you married? How long have you been married?
Mm-hmm.
And are you happily married?
Mm-hmm.
And also because a lot of times you have these people on here that either aren't married, divorced, or married and doing all kinds of stuff, or you've been married for this is your 10th marriage and you've been married for maybe now you it's successful because y'all been together for 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I did that and everything like that. That again, that's the interview. That's what women want to know. Like, you're telling me how to be in a relationship,
Yes.
but you got all these failed relationships.
All these failed relationships. Children that you haven't even taken care of and spoken to for years.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about a man coming together with a woman, and then when you produce a child, did you get up under that responsibility and take care of your child? Do you understand what I'm saying? See,
Right.
this is all relationships. This is an offspring of you. So not only we're talking about your relationship with yourself, we're talking, well, let's start off your relationship with your mother.
Yes.
You understand? Because mother is the first woman in my life. My father was there, but mother is the first woman. Mother
Mm-hmm.
is the
Mm-hmm.
first teacher. See, that's why my work is. Mother is the first teacher. Before anyone gets to the child, mother is the first teacher.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
What is your relationship with your mother? If you didn't have the right relationship with your mother, I can almost guarantee when you hear those relationship coaches, and there are relationship coaches out there that have issues with their mother, and
Yes.
because they have issues with their mother, they have issues with women.
Yes.
And
Most
their number
definitely.
and their number one goal is to tear women down. That's their number
Mm-hmm.
one goal, is to
Mm-hmm.
tear her down emotionally, tear her down spiritually, tear her down psychologically. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
to tear her.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole thing, is to tear her down. Why? Because the taller you stand is based on how low I can tear her down.
Right.
See what I'm saying? See, I don't have to lower nobody for me to stand high. Okay,
Right.
okay, I don't have to take you down. We stand together.
Exactly.
Okay, and that's the reason we have to say a coach wannabe, because one thing is dealing with your wife and you, and then the next component is your children. Are you successfully in your children's lives? See, that's the other part.
Right.
That's, you know what I'm saying. We can't just have one part of it,
Right.
because if a man and woman gets together, oh, you're gonna have some children. Oh, it's gonna be some children in there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to just walk on. I'm going to step on the wild side just a little, because there's children there, and it's either children that you have, or sometimes there are abortions that we haven't spoken of.
Right.
So that's why we have to call them relationship coach wannabes, because before you can really talk to a woman and coach her, you have to know where she's been,
Right.
what she's been through, her challenges that she's had,
Mm-hmm.
insecurities that she's fighting with, her
Mm-hmm.
self-doubt that she's dealing with, her
Right.
self-esteem that has almost been ripped from her. You got to be able to know all that and deal with that before you can build her up. Now you don't even know her backstory, and you're gonna come tell her, do this. This is what you should do. This is what you should know. You're not qualified. You're not capable
Right.
to speak into her life. So you
And
just
and and you said an interesting thing, because what I was speaking about was pretty much the opposite. But you was like, you have to know her background before you can build her up.
Mhm.
These ones are not building women up.
Dude, Jesus, honey, honey, honey. That's my aunt coming out. Honey, honey, please.
Yeah, I was like, they're not, and that's
Oh,
what I was so frustrated, because I was like, wow, like they came to you for help for a relationship and everything like that, has serious questions, and everything like that, and you're telling her, oh, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10.
mm-hmm. Yes.
And let me tell you something though, too. No matter who you are, no matter whether you the most beautiful woman in the world, beauty fades. So do you really want a man that just wants you for, or someone that even gonna rate? First of all, any man that's into you, you a 10, period.
That's right. That's right.
But the fact that you are even using a scale of 1 to 10, there's no number that can rate
Very good. You got to throw this. You got to
a
throw the
woman.
scale out the window. You got to throw the scale out the window. See that's the indicator. That's the indication that lets you know the homework has not been done. Now, I'm just going to use
Mm-hmm.
this for the
Mm-hmm.
reference, because when the Bible talks about the virtuous woman, it says her price is what?
Far more than rubies. Oh,
Beyond.
I know that scripture.
You understand what I'm saying? You understand? Her value is beyond. It goes beyond. So when you hear a man or another woman begin to put a woman on a scale from 1 to 10, bam, you're out on left field from the start. Okay. And by the same token, I teach all women. Okay. When it comes down to the scale, throw the scale out the window. And the
Right.
second part, I teach women, when it comes down to man, there's no such thing as an ordinary man. Throw the
Right.
scale out the window. You got to understand, when God made man and woman, he made the most sophisticated
Mm-hmm.
being ever to set foot on planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you've got to understand that every creature on earth is totally comfortable in his environment.
Right.
A dog is comfortable in his environment, being a dog. A snake is comfortable slithering through the dust. You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Whales are comfortable in the water. Ants are comfortable just walking through the garden and carrying a little bit. Every animal is
Mm-hmm.
comfortable in his environment.
Mm-hmm.
Man is the only species, the only being that's not comfortable in his environment.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason man is not comfortable in his environment is because he's been given the intellect and the wherewithal to create his own.
Right.
See, we create our own environment. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I wrote this down today. I was doing this in my writing. The future is not something that you can see. The future is a place to create.
Yes.
See, we try to look into the future to see the future. You can't see the future. You have to create
Right.
the future.
Right.
You understand that? See that's why we in business. Let's talk business for a little bit. In business, you start wondering if I can make it, if I'm going to make my quota, if I'm going to make enough money. So you can't see into the future. The only thing you can do is create the future. Do what you know to do, and the future will do what it's supposed to do.
And I have to cut in here.
Yes.
because I just looked and we are over the half hour.
Oh,
So I'm going to let Dr. Love finish what he was saying, and after that, we will go to break for 30 seconds, and we'll be right back.
and we'll be back. Yeah. So that's so important to understand. We create our own environment, and when you begin to tear women down, what you're not understanding is she's here to create her own environment.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll go to break.
Absolutely.
The business and entrepreneurial world is full of talk. Talk, 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 talk. Enough. We take everything you've learned, leverage it, and give you the actual tools you need to put all the talk into your walk. Attend the conference that's all about action, strategies, and real ROI. Your executive GPS ticket includes access to seminars and workshops where you'll learn business financing, such as loans, grants, venture capital, and angel investors. Business strategies, human capital strategies, such as hiring contractors versus employees. Government contracts. Register today. www.theexecutivegps.com.
All right, and we are back. So we were talking about business before we went to break, and our sponsor, Executive GPS, is all about getting yourself together for business, making sure that you meet your ROI, making sure that you have everything in place. Like Dr. Love was saying, you cannot predict the future, but you can do everything that you need to do to get yourself ready, to get yourself venture ready, to get make sure your business is solid, to make sure that the practices that you are doing are solid. And so the Executive GPS conference comes up in October of every year. We're already almost 6 months out from it. So get yourself together now to do the conference. Shortly, we will be having what the prices are for the conference so you can get it together. It is virtual, it is available live, and it is available afterwards for those who register to be able to review the content. And we have excellent speakers that come out every year for that conference to help get you venture ready. Dr. Love was a speaker last year
Yeah.
with his love topics because, again, I'm all about the 360 person when it comes to business. And one of the things that can knock you off of track with your business, with your career, is if your love life is not together.
Sure.
If your love life is in havoc, if your home life is not great, then it is going to be reflective in business. It may not necessarily be that you're not productive. Some people, it affects their productivity. Some people are just mean as the devil when they come into work. Some
Mm-hmm.
people are over authoritative when they're at work. All of this comes from a lot of times when you dig down deep, different issues that are going on in the home. And so when I thought about those things and everything that will help people be venture ready, to help them be successful, because again, success encompasses all of those things for everybody at different levels and everything like that. So it was just like, okay, so a lot of people have the business stuff together, they think they do, but their home life is messed up and is affecting their business.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we have this segment. That's why we have things like that in the conference, because it is 360. Business is, there's a business side to love. I've learned thanks
Yeah.
to Dr. Love. And there's a business, there's the business of it. And so you have to have all of those things together. So just in case, because I know some people might question, oh, you do business, why are you talking about love? This is why we're talking about love, because if something is going wrong in your love life, at home, in your personal life, it does spill over. So to have that healthy um, business, healthy life, that's why they say work life balance. Work life balance works whether you're an entrepreneur, business owner, or whether you're an employee. And so you have to have that balance. So that's what this is. This is the balance into this.
Mm-hmm. Very, very, very good. In fact, one comedian asked the question. He said, "When you go for a job interview, he said, why do they ask me what is your hobby? Are you gonna let me do my hobby on the job? What are your hobbies? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna let me do the hobby on the job? No, we're not gonna. let you do the hobby on the job. We want to know how you spend
Your
your
free
time,
time. Yes.
not at work. How do you spend your time? Is it do you have something you enjoy? I happen to be a gardener. I garden. I grow stuff. In fact, my backdrop is always going to be my plants because I always buy plants that are in trouble. I buy distressed plants and I bring
Hmm.
them to life. I wonder, and I just did that naturally. Then I realized, I said, I'm a relationship coach. That's what I do. I bring things that are trouble back to life. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. So I got a big plant that I'm gonna bring into my background. When I got it, it had one stalk on it. My daughter said, "Is this gonna grow other stalks?" You wait till you see that plant. So what we're saying is, you have women. You can have it all.
Hmm.
You can have it all. I want you to understand that, because your self-doubt may cause you to wonder, but you can have it all. But you've got to know. And that's the reason our topic tonight is what do we say? Can we
Can we
take a spin?
can we spin?
Okay. Can we okay. Can we take a spin?
Can we take a spin?
Can we take a spin? See, that's the question. That's what the man is asking. Can we take a spin? And you got to be crystal clear. I don't know what kind of driver you is. You know what I'm saying? Can we take a spin? How clean is your car? You know what I'm saying? I mean, does it
Yeah.
work? Does it work? Do you have a car? You driving a stolen car? Is it somebody else's car? Can we take a spin? It's a whole lot of facets to that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
before you say yes, you've got to do some homework.
Yes.
Okay. And when you do say yes and you take the spin, you may have to still hit reverse. And I want you
Yes.
to understand it. You may have to hit reverse. And I don't want you to doubt yourself. I don't want you to question it. I don't want you to ever have a second thought of it, because this is what happens. And I had one of my clients say that to me. She was having some challenges or whatnot. She said, well, doc, you always said you could hit reverse. Yes. And that was so liberating for her, because the thing that was liberating for her is because she said, you always said we can hit reverse. Why? Because not somebody else, I done drove up in some mess. So you got to take responsibility. You understand?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm about to hit reverse because I done drove up in some mess.
Yes.
I got a little problem on my hand. You know what I'm saying? So I got to hit reverse, not him. I'm not blaming him. I ain't blaming my mama. I ain't blaming my cousin. I ain't blaming nothing. I got to hit reverse because I done drove up into
Right.
something.
Right. Right. I made this decision.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I made this decision. I choose. I choose. I chose. I chose you. You want to
Right.
understand that? So on the heels of that, you say that's the reason I chose to hit reverse. Watch me.
Right. Right.
All right. Believe me. You
Hmm.
can always drive back in. Okay. But you got to hit reverse. Now listen at this here. This is another thing that I share with my angels, and I just added a second point in it. You never get a second chance to make a first impression.
That's right.
Okay. So that's the reason I am a woman's relationship empowerment coach. I rescue men by empowering women. My goal is to get women prepared to create and enter a successful relationship.
Hmm.
Once she's in it, she doesn't get a second chance to make that first impression because she's in it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But now listen to this. You never get a second chance to make a first impression, but you do get a second chance to make a lasting impression.
Impression. That's right. Good or bad.
You see what I'm saying? See, lasting. See, that's why we hit reverse, because you know you may have to hit reverse to make a statement that says, "Listen, what we've been going through can't continue. I got to hit reverse." Now we may revisit this at some point, We may reconvene at some point, but for right now, I've got to make a lasting impression.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the lasting impression is, listen, when it's all said and done, you know what I'm saying? I've been with my wife for over 40 years. There's certain things I know about her, and sometimes people think my wife is a little easy because I'm very dominant, I'm very forward and all that. But my wife, she ain't no joke. She's no joke. My
Mm-hmm.
my godmother would tell us, she said, Ed, you and Linda, she said, one of your head is like rock and the other's like granite. You know what I'm saying?
I
Believe
like that.
believe you me. You understand? We've had sessions with my godmother to bring us to the point of where we are. And that's what you want to understand. You never get a first chance to make a second impression, but you do get a second chance to make a lasting impression. And that
Mm-hmm.
lasting impression is so powerful because you said, I've been in it. I know what it's like. I've experienced it. I tried to overlook it. I tried to deal with it. I tried to make it work. I put up with it. I overlooked some stuff. I I played myself down. One lady said to me, one lady said to me, she said, I have a master's degree. She said, and I dummied myself down. She said, I dummied myself down because, oh Lord, you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I played myself down with a
Mm-hmm.
master's degree. She said, I'm not working in my career. I've got a master's
Mm-hmm.
degree. Here this woman that went and studied, educated, she's prepped. I have a master's degree. And here I'm messing around, I'm playing around. That's the reason tonight, can we take a spin? Yeah, we can take a spin. But if you ain't spinning where you need to spin, you gotta hit reverse.
Yeah. Take. Yeah. Hit that reverse real fast.
Hit
Turn the
that reverse.
block. And that's the thing that a lot of women do. Play themselves down, dumb themselves down. Um, not work in their career, give up their career, whatever, and this, that, and the third, and they're miserable.
Mm,
Miserable. And I mean, and it, whatever career it is, I mean, you have people who are rich, and I've seen that again after this stuff comes up, and you have people who are rich, people who are millionaires, who found themselves as women miserable because they gave up their career, they gave up
mm,
what was in them, their drive, their
mm,
passion
mm,
to have a relationship,
mm,
and they were in marriages and had the children and looked all successful, and they were miserable.
mm,
And so it's not worth it in the end to do that. Like when you're with a man, and for a man or a woman, you're supposed to be encouraging each other's dreams,
mm, mm,
encouraging each other's goals, letting the light shine on your woman.
mhm,
I mean, it's funny because I talk about Proverbs and the virtuous woman, and I strove for that.
mhm.
If you look at that, yes, she ran the house, and she ran the house well with servants.
Yes,
They make sure they tell you that,
servants is right.
with servants.
Right, that's right.
She had children.
She had children.
She had her own business.
She had a business. She was industrious.
That's in the virtuous woman. And I'm not saying everyone has to have a business, but you have a career.
You have a career.
That's
You
a
have
well-rounded
that's right.
woman.
Absolutely.
And I can't say if it's society, I don't know what it is, but in this era, it's a bad thing for a woman to have a successful career,
Mhm.
have a business in the whole grand scheme. Because some women have businesses, married, happy, all of that and everything, but it's a big thing.
Mhm.
And it was just like, oh, well, you have this, so you don't have time for the home and the cook and clean. That's what the servants are for,
Right.
because we got this life. And on the other side, it was like, well, the husband was well known in I believe it was politics or something like that, so he had his career.
Mhm.
and everything, but she was well thought of. Everyone admired this woman. Her
Everyone.
children, her servants, her husband, the outside world admired her because she was accomplished.
Accomplished.
She had a skill because it said that she made things and she sold them in the marketplace. That was a business.
She made
She
tapestry.
created
Tapestry.
something.
Yes. Hmm.
And I was like, so when you said that, it just hit the nail on the head. And like I said, I'm seeing all of these relationship wannabes. I'm gonna try to remember that on here. And they're like, oh well, you know, you have a business, so what? Or you're not all that great. Yes, she is. And she needs someone just as great. Someone who appreciates that, someone where they don't have to dumb themselves down, where they don't have to give up their business, where they don't have to give up their career unless they want to. There are some women who want to,
Yes. Yes.
and everything, and if that's the agreement and everything like that. But I'm talking about people who will come in where the woman has the business, all this, and this is like, oh well, you stop that and do this with me. Why? If we're talking about legacy, if we're talking about generational wealth and things like that, what people miss, and a lot of people miss, is that people in the Bible were wealthy.
Hmm.
They came from something, but they acquired wealth and they learned how to use wealth. That's why it talks about generational wealth, generational legacies, things going to the third and fourth and fifth and sixth generation.
Hmm.
You can't have some money that go to the third, fourth, fifth generation if you don't have wealth.
Hmm. Yes.
And you can't do it alone. Even back then, when I started thinking about that, because that was the scripture that God had brought to me here lately, and it was just like, because I was like, oh, nowadays you can't do it alone. Well, honestly, to be truth be told, you never could,
Hmm.
because even back in the Bible, she had her own, he had his own, they had wealth together, and they had the generational wealth.
Hmm.
And so they were able to get that together,
Hmm.
doing separate individual things.
Hmm. Yeah. And that's, it's so important, to really begin to understand. We were talking about success, and you talked about the woman that has her career, the woman that has her job. I wanted to make sure we add the woman that stays at home, because my wife stayed home to take care
Hmm.
of my children when they were younger. You understand? And that was the ultimate sacrifice, because when you're with children, you know what I'm saying? We have 5 children. When you have children and she's with those children all day, every day, that's a job within itself. And
Yes, yes, it
the,
is.
the irony about that is a job that she doesn't get paid for.
Right.
Saying, so I remember one year I got a Mother's Day card from my wife. I thought it was the cutest card. We should have really saved it. It says hiring, looking for help, cooking, cleaning, sewing, nurturing, taking care of children, on the job training. It's and at the end it said, "Thank you, Mom, for taking the job."
Yes.
See?
Yes. And excuse me, because I didn't mean to discount women who are homemakers,
Yes,
because I didn't mean to exclude them
yes.
and everything. I'm glad that he brought them in. It was just a thing of how a woman who, hear what I've been hearing lately in the different things, are for the women who are outside of the home, and how that makes them less than, or how it makes them less feminine or more masculine, because they're out there and can get those things. So yes, definitely, there is definitely value. um yes, it's a job that you don't get paid for,
Yes.
and everything, and you're doing everything: cooking, the cleaning, the washing the dishes, the washing the clothes, making sure everyone is up and making meals, cooking, sending people off. You're the teacher when the kids come home to help them with the
Hmm.
homework. They wear so many hats.
So many
So
hats.
I don't want to discount them
Right.
at all. They're very valuable, to have, very valuable to the household. Um, but I don't necessarily see them being undervalued or disvalued. Now, I'm not saying that they're not undervalued,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm in a different, perspective and situation with the career, with the businesses and stuff like that. So I can only speak to that,
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
that piece. But those are the ones that I'm seeing with the relationship wannabes being tore up,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and everything like that. And they're being told you should be home, you should be taking care. A man is not going to value you because now you too busy to take care of the house or wash the dishes or whatever and everything like that. And that's not necessarily true. There is value
It's
in
value.
that,
Mm-hmm.
and everything like that. But and the thing about it is, if that's not what you want
Right.
in a woman, in a wife, then be honest. A lot of times you have men and women who are not honest about what their desires are as far as a relationship, what their desires are as far as having a relationship and having a career.
Mm-hmm.
And on both sides, you have people who think they can change them. Well, once she falls in love with me, she'll want to be home.
Mm-hmm.
Once he falls in love with me, he'll allow me to have a career or, whatever. And that's just not a realistic thing. And if you drove into that, you can always turn around.
Yeah, that's
I can,
right.
Mama, I can back up better than I can drive forward.
You pretty good backup too. You pretty good backup.
Um, when I was learning how to drive, I had the hardest time with forward. Like, I was so nervous. But when it's time to back up, I backed all the way down. She's like, Mom, I was like, what? Like, how do you drive?
You could hit it. You could hit it. You could hit it.
How do you drive backwards better than you do forwards?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
Yeah.
you can make that turn. I mean, it's a thing of, okay, I made this decision. It wasn't the best decision, to make, and everything like that. But let's back this up, and everything like that. I realize I'm not going to be able to change how you feel. No one can really change someone like that, um, and everything like that. But at the end of the day, you want both parties to be happy
Has to
and everything. And so, can we take a spin? You took that spin, it wasn't for you. It's never too late. For the thing for a career, it was like, it's never too late to make a change. I think you said that. It's never too late to make a change.
right.
And even when it comes to relationships, is never too late to make a change.
Yes.
And I know we're talking about all of this stuff is wrapped up in emotion. Men and women, men have feelings too. And everything like that. And so, it's never too late to say, you know what, we did this,
We did this.
tried this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not working
Mm-hmm.
for you, for me, for both of us. Let's just, back this off.
That's right. Shakespeare said it like this here. He said, "Let us put an end to this scene, for it's going nowhere."
Yes.
Okay. Let's put an end to this scene because it's going nowhere. And and that's that's why, it's so important. We talk about that. Uh, a man and woman coming together is such a natural process. It's such a wonderful event. It's
Mm-hmm.
spectacular. Time stands still. It's a natural phenomenon. But staying together, growing together, and thriving together is not a natural process.
Right.
You got to go somewhere. You got to do some growing.
Yes.
You got to do some developing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about it, and I know we're coming up. We were talking about it last week, and I just remembered what Earl Nightingale said about success. He said, "Success is the realization of a worthy ideal." The
Yes.
woman, the woman who wants to stay at home, who decided to stay at home because she wants to be there for her children, is successful.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? The man who said, I want to work at a gas station and fix cars and make sure cars are running, he's successful because that's what he's decided to do. It's the
Right.
realization of a worthy ideal. So
Mm-hmm.
what you want to begin to understand is we're not putting anyone down. Any woman or any man that wants to be in a certain position, you can be there. We're just saying you don't know all that you're capable of in that position.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? And a woman bring what a woman brings out of a man and what a man brings out of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You can bring the very best out of her, or you can bring the very worst out of her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They have a saying, hell has no fury like a scorned woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When a woman is scorned, she'll say to you, if it's the last thing I do, you know what I mean? She mean that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can bring the best out of her or you can bring the worst out of her. And what I'm going to conclude and I'm going to share tonight is important for us. Once we talk collectively, then we've got to talk individually
Mm-hmm.
because that's one of the main things that I take my women through the process of. I said,
Mm-hmm.
as we talk about all of what you've been through, your backstories and things that have happened, now I've got to begin to separate you from one, your past, from
Mm-hmm.
bad experiences, and from society. We've got to
Mm-hmm.
separate her from society.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I asked my daughter one time, there's no shortage of good men.
Right.
He said, I said, how many you need? She's
Just one.
just one. Just all I need is one. So all this shortage, get it out of your head. There's no shortage. Okay. When it comes down to society, disconnect from society. Because
Mm-hmm.
once you disconnect from society, it becomes him, it becomes her.
Right.
Now, now we can make some progress. Okay. Because I've talked to men. Some women earn more money than men.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, no matter how much money a woman makes, it will never compare to having a man in her life that
Right.
knows he's a man.
Right. That know
He's
he's a
not
man.
he's not intimidated by her money.
Right.
He's not intimidated by her position.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said coming together is a natural phenomenon, but growing, staying together, thriving together, and developing together, it takes growth and development.
Yes.
Okay. And if he ain't growing and she ain't developing, it ain't gonna work.
Right.
Okay. You gotta grow and you gotta develop, and then you gotta separate from society. And when you separate from society, you say, what are we gonna do? You know, women would talk about my wife because she decided to stay home. Girl, I wouldn't stay home with them kids. I wouldn't, well, hey, you ain't me.
Right.
I ain't you. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't want to stay home, fine. To
Right.
each to each his own.
Right.
You may not want no kids. Fine.
Right.
To each his own. So that's the reason it's important for me to say disconnect from society. Just
Mm-hmm.
disconnect in your relationship. Just disconnect. Because at the end of the day, who's in the house is just you and him.
Right.
Who's in the bed is just you and him. Now,
Mm-hmm.
y'all may produce some children, but at the end of the day, society ain't in that bedroom with you.
Right.
Society ain't sitting down at that table with you. It's just you and him. And that's why I want you to understand it's so important. I told one of my trainees, one of my I always say you've got to have an underline, an extended line, and an upline. So I was talking to my
Mm-hmm.
downline earlier last week, and I was expressing the importance of understanding when you have children. It was me and my wife at the very beginning before there was any children.
Mm-hmm.
And now my baby is 35. Okay. Now it's just me and my wife. And we raised our two grandchildren. And I just took my grandson to the Air Force today. Just today, he's He's flying to San Antonio, Texas. We not only did we raise our children, we raised two of our grands.
Right.
One is in Kent State. The other just left for the airport. It was her and I at the beginning. It's going to be her and I at the end. Disconnect from society
Right.
because it's going to be just the two of you. That's so important to understand. And y'all gotta have each other's back.
Yes. You gotta have each other's back.
You gotta have each other's back. I got you.
Yes.
I got you. I got you. And you know he got you.
Yes.
You know she got you.
Yes.
You know it. You ain't guessing. You ain't wondering. You know.
Yes.
I went. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be quiet. I went out of town. It was a Monday ago. Monday I wasn't able to do the show, but I went to visit my son and help him. And I got back home. My wife said, "I didn't realize how good I sleep when you home." You understand what I'm saying? She said, "I heard some of everything when you was gone." You know what I'm saying? She said, "I heard some of everything." You know what I'm saying? I heard this. I heard the steps creaking. I heard the hallway creaking. She said, "I heard some of everything." Why? Because she know when I'm home. She said, "He's here. He got me."
Right. Exactly. And we have to wrap this up because we are over the hour. We always go over the hour. But to be continued. And everything like that. But this is so great. This is so great to have that balance. So you can have the balance in your whole life. So you can do the businesses and the careers that you have set before you. Having your house in order is the first step in having that and having that balance and having that level of success. Because the truth of the matter is, even those who do work inside and outside the house, we do it for our families.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so we do thank you so much, so very much for joining us. Wonderful conversation, as usual. And we will see you next week.
Can we take a spin?
Thank you for joining us for another episode of High Tea with Me. To be a guest on the show, contact us via email info@ventureready.net. Thank you again and see you next week.